So they were the highlights from the cricket ground in round one, won by St George. These are the team lineups for today in a different ballpark. Belmore Sports Ground. Michael Potter and Brian Johnson, full backs. Max Mannix comes into the Canterbury three-quarter line, replacing Chris Anderson, and he partners Greg Mullane, Chris Mortimer and Ross Conlon. Guerin, Johnston, Beattie and Morris have been doing a good job for St George. Terry Lamb, passing a fitness test, will take his place at 5/8 alongside Steve Mortimer. And it's Paul Morris and Perry Haddock for St George. Langmack, Folks, Batiste, Robinson, Johnston and Tunks means we have the same set of 6 for Canterbury today as we saw last Sunday. O'Grady, Walsh, Fraser, Jarvis, Guider and Stone are the selected 6 to take them on. Warren Ryan coaches Canterbury. Roy Masters is in charge of St George. Lamb coming across and finding the second runner, and Paul Langmack is put to ground about 8 metres into St George's area. Batiste and another penalty. Beattie has been recalled for the incident with Batiste, and the penalty has been given to the Bulldogs, and Conlon will take in 2 days. Strikes it sweetly, coming around, curling beautifully. That's a good goal. That is a superb goal from Ross Conlon. Canterbury Bankstar 2, St George 0. Small but tough. Peter Tunks. Ball's in the hands of Pat Jarvis. This is the supreme test for St George today. We haven't seen them for a while. But gee, the raps have been big about them. Oh, what a shoulder hit.
Ray, this has got all the makings of a championship bout, this one. It really does look like being a tremendous game. The defence is absolutely fierce. No quarter being given or asked.
I think the instruction was take no prisoners, the way they're playing the first 10. Michael Potter. Whoosh. Fed by Mortimer. Won by Canterbury. This is Lamb. Cut out pass on Potter. To Mullane to Mortimer. Chris Mortimer's gone outside 35-45. To the halfway. Chased and caught by Brian Johnston. Canterbury now. They've got St George at 6s and 7s. Conlon. Cut down by the lock forward, Graham O'Grady. 5 metres into St George's territory. Batiste. Long ball. Bad pass. Folks did well. Swallowed by the St George defence. Mortimer. Potter. Guerin underneath it. Guerin replies with a kick that might find touch. No, Potter's got it covered. Just getting a hand on the corner of the jumper was Stone. Jarvis. Fraser. Haddock. That'll find it. Good kick. 25 metres out from the Canterbury line. Trainers are going in to where the man kicked at Haddock. Billy Johnston apparently went for a charge down on Perry Haddock. Both trainers went on. Touch judge now making a report on the late tackle from Billy Johnston. This was Haddock. We're going back into the match, just about 60 seconds, and there's the hit. A shoulder charge by Johnston, and he hurt his shoulder. Look at the pain on his face. Needless to say, Perry Haddock isn't feeling very much like a golf shot. Hits it beautifully. He's got it. Steve Guerin has taken the Dragons to the lead. But you can't afford to give a fellow like Conlon a shot inside what we would call easy kicking distance, and in his case it's probably 45 metres out, and Guerin is much the same. So I think the coaches will be re-emphasising that to their players at half-time, to Terry Lamb is limping on that ankle of his again. As St. George make a bust. But Chris Mortimer turns defence into attack and sends Paul Langmack back to the 32-metre line. Lamb's gone to ground now.
Against the same ankle, I think, that he hurt last week.
To the blind side goes Brian Batties. He's 25 metres out. Johnston goes up the blind, but it's St. George inside the 5. The ourselves by tonight. But they're hanging in there and bringing in the pictures on 10 Sports as Ross Conlon levels it up again. 4-4 now. Mortimer, Tunks. Mortimer again. Lamb, the stretch is on. Mullane, Chris Mortimer. Ross Conlon now. Galloping towards halfway. Steve Morris is doing a good job. He knew what had to be done. It was a case of a big man and a small man. Robinson. Batiste. Tunks. Pass behind Folks. Langmack's missed it. Manich has got it. Tunks. Beautiful ball. Hand off to Folks. Lamb's going after it with Morris. A great race. Morris has got there first. Drop kick as a beauty. Taken by Conlon. By Potter, I should say. Billy Johnston. Batiste. Still no tries. 4-4. Robinson. Canterbury forwards, they have the pattern of simply hitting it up with nothing flash straight off the dummy half, and they run very close to the dummy half.
Well, that's the 6th penalty for either team.
It's almost second nature, something like this. Bingo. He's got it. 6-4. The Bulldogs are in front. Mike Beattie. Same as before. This man, Potter. Taking it back to O'Grady and Guida. Penalty to Canterbury. Against Chris Guida. And Conlon will take a kick at goal from 34 metres out, directly in front. See the little left foot of Chris Guida. Conlon, height, sweep. 2 further points to Ross Conlon and to Canterbury Bankstown. They lead out. In fight. Blindside rush for Paul Morris. Held by Mortimer. Cole Fraser taking it ahead strongly. Perfect example of a young man given a chance in the top grade. Good quick passing by the Saints. It was a desperate tackle by Stevie Mortimer. It was a desperate tackle by Mortimer, but he pulled it off beautifully and crunched Johnson across the sideline.
Last week we saw St. George score some good tries against Penrith down the blind side, and they tried the same tactics on that occasion.
Oh, Potter running over Mortimer pass. He got support. He's found Mannix. Mannix is flying. He's racing over inside the 22 line. And it's a try. Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, how embarrassing. Drop kick by Beattie, taken by Chris Mortimer. the St George 22 line. Langmack. This is where Canterbury will probably set themselves up for a shot. Oh, Robinson! Within 3 metres of the line. Mortimer, his brother Chris, the line is there. He's arched over the top of it, but forced back. Tunks, he loves this sort of stuff. Tackle number 5. Paul Langmack is the dummy half. Mortimer, up goes the bomb. It's too deep, but was put over the dead ball line by Perry Henning. Getting very dark here. Robinson. Obviously wouldn't seem that way probably on the screens, but in reality it's getting very, very dark. Johnston. Siren. What a great battle. What a tremendous game of football. No tries. 8 points to 4 in favour of Canterbury. Ross Conlon 4 goals. Steve Gearin 2 goals. And so the Bulldogs and the Dragons head for the dressing rooms and for the Sydney Cricket Ground, where they will next do battle in the semi-final final series. We'll be in the dressing rooms with the Man of the Match award in just a moment.